Hi, it's Jim in Beaverton, Oregon. I just got back a few minutes ago from a crabbing trip to Netart's Bay, which is a little bay that's right by Tillamook Bay, which is pretty close to Tillamook, which is the place where Tillamook cheese comes from. So if you make it to Tillamook, which you should if you get the chance, you should go to the cheese factory. It's like the first or second biggest tourist trap in Oregon, but it's kind of fun to go to just once because you can get Tillamook ice cream, which is really good too. So anyhow, on with the story. Before I show you my rib, which I'm gonna on my boat, I wanted to show you a little bit about what's been going on in the vegetable section. This week we've had a big growth in the peppers. Several of them, they're almost big enough to eat now. So that's looking good. And finally, after all of this time, I have an eggplant on my eggplant so shiny it reflects in your face, and I couldn't figure out what it was to start with. So we'll see what it does. Also, I have vine-ripe tomatoes now, which I'm going to eat tomorrow in a crab salad. Lettuce, of course, and I'm going to walk by here. And we have beans that are also ready to be picked again. So without further ado, let me walk out here, and I will show you my rib. So here it is. It's dirty because I've been crabbing, obviously. This is a 3.14 meter, which is 11 feet Zodiac. Has a 25 horse Yamaha motor on it. It's extremely seaworthy. This is what they call a rib. Again, if you see the bottom part of the boat is fiberglass, and it's got a double hull. So even if the tubes go down, you can still actually make the boat go. It's extremely light, and it's pretty quick too. So anyhow, I went crabbing, as I said, and I did get a few, just enough to do me. So here they are. They've been on ice, so they're kind of lethargic right now. They're much quicker when they're fresh. I have kind of an interesting story about catching crabs. We don't use tongs or gloves or anything because it just doesn't seem fair. So you go in there with your bare hands. I went crabbing with my dad one time, who's passed away a few years ago. By the way, he retired at 63, and he passed away just before 93, so he was retired for 30 years, which seems like kind of a feat. But we were crabbing one time, and my father, I should say, was a product of the Depression, so he was always kind of a meat hunter. But we're in a boat, and we're catching crab, pretty good crab, right? But all of a sudden we pull up this giant crab. I mean, it's big, humongous crab, big pincher. I said, wow, look at that crab. And it was a male too. It was totally fair game. I can't remember exactly how it came down, but I think I sort of handed it to him, and somehow the crab reaches out and grabs him by the thumb, right like that. It's just, there's blood squirting everywhere, and he throws the crab like that, and it goes overboard and gets away. And he was like really upset about it, and I thought, you know, but come to find out it had nothing to do with the blood from his finger, but that he'd lost the crab. So that's just the way it is. So the tip of the day today, to end this with, is if the crab has you by the finger, go ahead and flip it overboard. You can get another crab. I'll see you next week.